but I'm going to send this to. So first of all, thank you so very much, every single one of you, for taking time out of your night to come. I know summer's super duper busy, and I appreciate your time. So we'll try to go through this rather quickly so you can get back home to your lives and everything that you have going on. But I just want to make everybody aware of some changes that we have going on with the schedule, so everything runs smoothly and I can answer questions ahead of time, and we kind of have a game plan going into next Monday night. Monday night, it's like days away. Exciting stuff. Okay, so each of you should have this little booklet on your chair. If you don't, there's a couple extras laying around. Go ahead and grab one. This is for you to take home. If you have any questions, you can refer back to it. But we're just going to go through it tonight real quick. So first of all, why VBS? Why do we do what we do? We want to create a fun, safe, caring environment that exposes kids to the Word of God, teaches them about Jesus, and makes it a fun experience for them. For some of these kids, this will be the only time they get to hear about Jesus, is here at our church. They don't have that in their home life, so it's so important. And then it just creates memories for all kids. They're going to remember these summers for the rest of their lives, so it's super important. And so why are you here? Why did you volunteer? Well, I'm glad you did. And again, I'm going to say thank you like 50 times, so get used to it. But you're here to provide an opportunity for the kids to discover the great, awesome, mighty God who loves them, and to help everybody here on the stellar crew have a great time. That includes your co-volunteers. It includes all the kiddos in the crews. It includes the little kiddos in the preschool room, the ladies in the kitchen, the ladies in the prayer room, everybody, floor to ceiling. We're going to have a good time this next week. Okay, so this is going to jump right into it. This is our new schedule. For those of you who've done this before, we used to travel in 3 groups, and we used to have, hi guys, come on in, grab a booklet. We're just getting started. They should be on the chairs for you. We're switching things up. So the first thing that's going to change is we're doing away with the Bible buddy station. We had some just not issues, but just we're trying to give time for everything and make it run a little bit more smoothly and not rush stuff as much. So what we're doing is we're getting rid of the Bible buddy station. We're expanding the closing session from 10 minutes to 20 minutes at the end of the night. And then we're expanding the amount of time that everybody is at the cafe. That was our main goal with changing this up, or how it started, is we want to give everybody time to make it through the food line and actually have time to sit and eat their food. Okay, so that's one of the reasons that we did this. So this schedule now, we're going to have 4 groups. Each group will have 4 to 5 crews in it. For those of you who have done this before, all of our crew leaders, which we have 18 crews this year, so that's amazing, plus 19 including the preschoolers. But they will travel in groups, 4 different groups, to all of these different rotations. So if you just follow the top line, this group 1 will go to the cafe, then they'll go to games for half hour, then they'll come in and go to Imagination Station, Bible Adventures, and then they'll end the night in the downstairs in the sanctuary for the closing. So this is going to be in your book, so you can kind of study, so you just have an idea. For all of you crew leaders, you're going to have a schedule that I'm going to show you in your crew bag. So you're not expected to memorize anything that's in here, because everybody's schedule is going to be a little bit different depending on which group you travel in. But those are the big changes that we're going to do. So obviously it cuts out 1 station. That simplifies things. It makes it so we don't have to rush at dinner. However, with Imagination Stations and Bible Adventures, you're now going to have 4 groups of kids instead of 3, or 4 rotations instead of 3 rotations, which is what we've had in the past. So that's really one of the few downsides, is just moving through. But the good side thing is that your groups will be smaller. So that is a good thing. The other thing that we're going to add is every night at the end, as soon as the kids are out the door, we want to try to gather everybody downstairs in the sanctuary. Crew leaders, station leaders, everybody that can come. If any of the helpers or outdoor games or anybody from the kitchen crew wants to come, you're welcome to. But we for sure want to have the crew leaders and the station leaders to meet up every night to just touch base. Celebrate any successes, share things that work, share stories of salvation if you had one. And then if there's any issues or things we need to address, or you're struggling with something, we want to make it an open forum so everybody can chit chat and just help each other through that. And then we'll pray together each night. Okay? So any questions about this schedule or how we have it laid out before I move on? Okay.
Just reiterate, I don't think you said it tonight, is that brief meeting will just happen right up more kind of by the stage probably.
Yep.
Front there.
And we want to make it brief,
Yeah.
like 5-10 minutes. We don't want you to have to stay for an extra half hour. We know you got things to get to at the end of the night and you're gonna be tired. You're gonna be tired. So we'll keep them brief, but yes, in the sanctuary in front of the stage. Okay, so oops, went too far. So this is an example, an orbit is what I call it. So you have a you're a crew leader, you have a group of kids you're taking around. You're gonna take them on an orbit that night. You're gonna take them around to all the different stations, so that's your orbit. This is an example of what you're gonna see in your crew bag. Okay, so this is the schedule I talked about. So your schedule will be the same every night. We're not going to switch anything up. So this will be in your bag, so don't lose it. Keep it in your bag every night. And so you can just see, like, you'll start, we want crew leaders to arrive at 5:30 and station leaders at 5:30. And then check-in starts at 5:30, so the registration people will be there then as well. And then everything will start at 5:45, and if there's still kids coming in, that's okay. We'll huddle them in there. And then for this example, then they go to Imagination Station and Bible Adventures, and then they're the second crew that goes through the cafe, and then on to All-Star Games, and then back to the Cosmic Closing. So where does all this take place? We have it written on here. So the opening and closing, so the Sing and Play Blast Off, and the Cosmic Closing will be downstairs in the sanctuary. I wanted to go down there tonight because the decorations are phenomenal, but they're having worship team practice, so we didn't think they'd want to play music to me talking with my slideshow. I don't think it'd go. Imagination Station, as you come up the stairs from downstairs, it's going to be on your right, so it's the room right across the hall here. So if you're looking for one that doesn't have decorations, you're in the wrong room. They've got it decorated. It's super fun.
We'll have a balloon arch all around the door.
Okay, that's awesome. Okay, so look for the balloons. The balloon arch. So that's Imagination Station. Bible Adventures will be downstairs in the sanctuary as well, so they get to enjoy all those awesome decorations down there. And then the cafe will be in the Quonset out back. So if you leave from inside, go out the front doors and go around to the back. If you are leaving from the Imagination Station, can they use this back door?
That'll be open,
Okay.
ready to go.
Yep, so you can leave through here or go out and around, either way to get there. And then the All-Star Games will be on the west side of the building. So the side of the building that the sun is setting on, the side of the building that has the train tracks. So some people don't say directions and their face goes, so on that side.
Not the gravel road side.
That's right, away from the road. That's right, so that's where the outdoor games will be. If for whatever reason we have inclement weather, we will formulate a plan B that day. And we'll figure something else out. But any questions about where everything is located and how the kids are going to get around? So our first session is the Sing and Play Blast Off. The preschoolers will be towards the front on the left of this by the stage, so they can see the songs and they can see Pastor Travis is his commander. Ryan Spelled. I'm going to remember it. He'll be the character hosting us. And then we'll dismiss them. They'll leave while the music is still playing, so they're the first ones to get up to the food place. And then Alma's team will have their food already set out, and they're going to be back by the door. So then the rest of you can just go in. Just be mindful of the littles. If they're in, don't trample them. Make sure that they're staying with their crew, or if you see one run off, give them some help. But Denise and Sabrina and Sonia will be manning the preschool crew. So if you see one of them running or pulling their hair out, please help them. They always do a good job. So yeah, let's move on. Our daily schedule, let's go through each of these real quick. This is just to give you a heads up of our curriculum, what we're going to be covering every night, and tell you who the Bible buddies are, so you can kind of get to know them, get familiar with them before the kiddos show up. So night one, our Galactic Cafe menu will be nachos. And at Imagination Station, they will be doing DIY star squishies. So these are little squishies they get to decorate. And then the Bible adventure story is going to be Jesus comes to earth as a baby. And then the Bible verse will be John 8:12. The Bible buddy is Cosmo the star. And his Bible point that they'll be driving home throughout the stations and with Travis in the opening and closing, or I'm sorry, Commander Ryan in the opening and closing, is when life feels dark and and you're gonna say this 500 times next week at least. Shine Jesus light. So let's say it together. When life feels dark,
Shine Jesus light.
Oh, so good. You got ways to go, but we'll get there. I won't make you say it with every slide. So that's night 1. Night 2, we're going to have a breakfast theme for our meal back in the cafe. So it'll be pancake, sausage, and eggs. Those are the main things. They're always going to have cookies and fruit and other goodies to go with it. Imagination Station will be making constellation lamps. These are just really cool little gadgets that they're going to build. They're really fun. And the Bible Adventures, it will be about Jesus accepting Zacchaeus. The Bible verse that night will be Romans 12:16. Ringo, the planet, is our Bible buddy, and his point is when people don't get along, shine Jesus light. You can do it.
I've been interacting with this for a while, so
You got it.
I gotta be ready.
Yes, you got it. And to let you know, so we aren't doing the Bible Buddy Station anymore. So at the closing session at the end of each night, or maybe even a little bit at the opening session, Commander Ryan will be incorporating the videos for the Bible Buddies and introducing these points. So they can be, you can keep talking about them throughout the evening when they go to Bible Adventures and everything. It's not new to them. So we're not getting rid of it completely. We're just incorporating it in a different area. Okay. Day 3 is hot dogs. Imagination Station will have a kind of a gadget experiment type thing, rockin' rockets, right? And Jesus enters Jerusalem as a king is the Bible adventure story. And the Bible verse is Psalm 101. And Luna, I think she's a, what is she? Moon, thank you. Luna the moon, and then her point is when good things happen, shine Jesus light. Day 4, that's going to be on Thursday. This is the night that the curriculum always presents the gospel to the kids to tell them about how Jesus died on the cross. I haven't talked to Jody exactly how this happens in this story. Jody Fonder will be leading the Bible Adventures this year. But Jesus Cares for His Mother will be the story in the Bible Adventures, and then that's how we're going to bring home the story of the gospel. So it's a very important night, so make sure always every night keep your kids on task, but it's super important that they listen to this Bible story with all they have. Galactic Cafe will have Sloppy Joes on Thursday. Imagination Station is the Lost in Space case. Bible verse is John 14:1, and Soul the Sun is our Bible buddy, and when people are sad, shine Jesus light. And then our last night we will have pizza. And is this Casey's Pizza from what I hear? Is that right? So we'll have pizza that night. The kids are going to love that. Imagination Station will have anti-gravity astronaut kits, which sound really cool. And I'm not even going to let you tell us. You can surprise us at the rotation. And then the story from Bible Adventures is Philip helps the Ethiopian. And the Bible verse is Matthew 5:16. Halley the Comet is our Bible buddy, and when people need help, shine Jesus light. So those are what the kids are going to be learning about at all the stations each night throughout the week. Any questions about that? Okay, let's talk about the first night when we get started. So just the same as we've done it in years past, for those of you who have been a crew leader before, or those of you that have been VBSers before, and this is your first year being a crew leader, we're going to hang your crew signs up in the sanctuary, just the same as we have in the past. And I'm going to tell you your crew name here in a minute. It'll have your name on the sign and on the name tags of you and your kiddos. So we can, if someone is lost or they're not sure where to go and they aren't familiar with your name yet, we can look at their name badge and tell where they need to go. So when you get here the first night, just the first night, we want to try to have everybody here at 5:15 crew leaders. This is so we can touch base, make sure everybody has everything they need, and we're ready for those kids that come early. The rest of the nights at 5:30 is totally fine. But we would love to make sure that no kid arrives and their crew leader not be there. The first night, it's so intimidating walking in and there's loud music and there's all the people and everybody's so excited, especially for the little kids. It's really intimidating to go in there and not have a friend yet. So if you can be there and be welcoming and ready to greet them as they come in that first night, that would be great. So 5:15 we'll have a quick huddle. Make sure you know where everything is, and if you have any questions and everything. Check-in starts at 4:30. So check-in will be at the foyer. We're gonna have a big rocket ship outside, and then you'll see our little steps. I'm gonna have those coming up the sidewalk, so it'll direct them to the door on this side of the building. And then Gloria Ann, Dan, Tally, myself will be there to help check people in. The first couple nights is always a little crazy, so be patient as we're doing that. And then we'll try to grab some people that are around to be the runners. That's the kids that don't know where they're going or don't know who their crew leader is yet. Take them into the sanctuary, bring them to their sign, introduce them to their crew leader, just to get the kids acclimated as we get started. Make them comfortable from the get-go. I mentioned the name tags will match, and so the crew leaders and all the staff members, I made name tags for you this year. It's optional if you want to wear them, but I encourage you to. That way, if the kids are going through the food line and they want to say thank you, Alma, for the delicious food, they'll know your name. You can tell them, but they won't remember it, but maybe they can read it. So everybody will have a name. And then also, I think it's important when the parents show up that the people who work for the church or are volunteering for the church are easily identifiable. That, you know, we're here to help if you have questions, or, you know, we're here to lead your kiddos, and here's who we are. So they're very fun and easy to read. And they're kind of designed like a name, or like a scan badge, like if you were on a rocket ship mission and you had to scan to get through a door or something. So they're kind of fun. So our dream team, just to let everybody know who's doing what here. I'll read through these very quickly, and if you have questions, let me know. So registration will be Gloria Ann, she's in the back here, myself and Pastor Dan, and also Tally Cradaville will be helping with check-in as well. Like I said, the first couple nights, when we have a lot of kids that are coming in, we haven't learned their faces and their names yet. They can get a little crazy, and then there's always those that haven't registered yet, so we got to get them fill out the paperwork and get them all filled in and checked in and all that. So it can get a little crazy, so if you can help us out or whatever, that would be fantastic. The preschool room, I mentioned this, Sonia, Sabrina, and Denise, all three of you are here tonight, that's fabulous, are running the preschool. If at any time you feel the week gets a little hectic and you need some more help, just let me know. Like I said, I have people that are messaging me yet this week saying, do you need help somewhere? So I have some floaters that I can plug in different places. So if you need help, let me know. Jody, I mentioned, is leading the Bible Adventures, Jody Vondra, and she has two helpers from her Trek group. I don't know their names, but they are helping her. I think Sean might be one, and I don't know the other one. I didn't recognize their names, but anyway, she's gonna have crew that will, you know, help play the roles where they dress up and act out the parts of the Bible story, and they're gonna help her reset the stories each night. One thing I will say about Bible Adventures, because we have the opening session downstairs in the sanctuary, and there's one group will go to Bible Adventures right away. We're gonna need you to leave the sanctuary with everybody else when the opening session is done, and go around and wait by the front door, so they can get everything set up for their story for the night. Typically they had like a 40-minute window in there while everybody ate and played games to get everything set. They're not gonna have that luxury this year, so we'll just be mindful of that. But we'll touch base on that that very first night in our little powwow. Games will be Julie and Carrie Chris, and then Gio Carrera will be their helper. Again, that's on that outside on the west side of the building. The Galactic Cafe, this was the last list I had. I know we've added maybe some, or maybe I don't have them all on here, Alma, so I apologize if I don't. But Alma has an amazing crew. Alma and Jean Vondra, Joyce, Phyllis, Beth, Diane, Rosie, Janie, Maria, and Robin and Chelsea. And then we also threw in JD. Can you help me with his last name?
Klingelhofer.
Yeah, there's a reason I can't ever remember that. Yes, so he said he would be willing to help whenever, so he's going to be kind of the bronze in the kitchen, so as trash cans need emptied and roasters need moved or whatever, he'll be helping that crew as well. Our crew leaders, like I said, we have 18 crews, which is phenomenal, super exciting. I'm really hoping that it provides a great experience for you crew leaders, and also for the kids, that it doesn't get too overwhelming or too hectic, because we're going to be able to have smaller crews this year. Also, I'm going to read through this list, but I'm going to tell you that what we're doing is we have a lot of first year crew leaders, and 4 of them are here in the room tonight. we're going to pair you up with more experienced crew leaders or pair you together. So you're not going to be flying solo. So hopefully it's a good learning experience for you and you're not overwhelmed. You're going to have plenty of opportunity to lead the kids in your group because we want you to learn how to do that. There's 5 of you. I'm sorry, Kiama. You're sitting up here in the corner of my vision. I missed you. Yeah, so we want to pair you guys up so you can have a great learning experience and not feel overwhelmed. And then next year you can hit the ground running. Okay. So our crew leaders this year are Hannah, Cam, Cammie and Allie, Haley, Peyton, Anna, Owen. Oh, I spelled his name wrong. Sorry, Owen. And he didn't even say that. He was there on Sunday and he didn't even point it out. Lydia, Claire, Tiffany, Sam, Janae, Tori, Izzy, Quinlan, Isaiah, Jace, Corbin, Nick, and Alex. And then we've also added Sierra Bond and El Cradaville. So they'll have a crew as well. Our opening and closing will be ran by Commander Ryan Speld, aka Travis. So I know you're working hard. He has an amazing costume from what I hear. The kids are absolutely going to eat it up. So I hope that you eat all of your Wheaties and you always have so much energy and it's contagious for the kiddos. So I'm excited. And then transportation will be led by Brittany and Sierra. And then Maria, Alma's daughter, will be helping them out as far as getting the kids here from the city park. And Matt, my husband, will be here as an extra car if for some reason we fill all 3 of those cars and we still have kids coming, then we'll have a spare waiting. And then Patty and Jan are on our prayer team, and also Dee has been added since I created this slideshow. So we have just an amazing team of volunteers, and this doesn't even include the crew that decorated everything. We've already had some comments tonight about how amazing everything looks. So this is the dream team that's going to be working together next week to create this fabulous week. So let's go ahead and introduce our crew leaders, or our crews. This is the groups that the kids are be assigned to, and we'll travel together throughout the night. So Cam, you're going to be grouped with Hannah. She's super fun and super energetic. You guys are going to have kindergartners. So you're going to be up towards the front of the stage because Hannah's going to lead the dancing on the music. So you're going to have those kids while she's up on stage. But you guys will be a great pair. I know it. Hannah's super cool, and I think she'll be a great person for you to learn from. So they are the Supernovas. And those of you that have done VBS with me before, this is the first one I've done that doesn't have animals for the cruise. So it's been a challenge to come up with 18 like space-themed team names, essentially. So if it's not exactly what you wanted, I'm sorry. We'll get it better next year. But so Cammie and Allie will pair together. Those 2 have been going to this Bible school together since they were kindergartners. So they've been the same crew every year. So they're ready to lead their own. And they're the moonwalkers. And they've told me they're going to teach their kids to do the moonwalk.
If there's no moonwalking, I will be greatly disappointed.
Yep. They've told me they will.
I can't do it, but
Cammie and Allie are the moonwalkers. Haley Krause is the Blazing Comets, and I already apologized to her on Sunday because I couldn't resist the Haley and the comet. I had to. She was a good sport, but she rolled her eyes. I'm like, I get it. I couldn't resist. Okay, and Peyton is the Stargazers. And Anna Pierce will be the Galaxy Seekers. Owen will be the Lunar Rovers. Lydia Wenz will be the Solar Flares. Claire, you'll be the Shooting Stars. And Tiffany and Sam, you're going to get paired with Tiffany. And again, she's an awesome, amazing teacher and leader for the kids. So I'm glad that you get paired with her to really get your feet wet and learn how to lead a good crew. You'll do a great job. You're the Meteorites, and Janae, you're the Planeteers. I'm not exactly sure what that is, other than I think you just look at planets through a telescope, I think. But Janae is new to our VBS crew, so thank you for stepping in and contacting us and wanting to serve at VBS. Izzy, you'll be paired with Tori Vondra, and you'll be the Apollos, which she picked that, and I think it's going to be like, you're just a series of those space shuttles that went up, or rockets. I'm not really sure, but the Apollos, it sounds spacey, doesn't it? Quinlan will be the Astro Avengers, and Quinlan will also have a helper in his group each night. Just we have some kids that have some special needs, so we still want them to be part of a group. But he will also have either Jennifer Bond or Jesse Mike in his group traveling with him. So if you see, wondering why there's so many people in his group, that's why. Isaiah will be the atomic asteroids, and Jace, you'll be the space rangers, and Corbin will be the orbiters. Nick, you'll be the satellite squad, and Alex will be the rockets. And that's all the crew. Oh, then there's one more crew, the constellations. I didn't get that one into the slideshow. That will be the new two that just stepped up this week, Elle and Sierra. So they'll be the constellation. So again, look for your crew sign when you get there that night. I'm gonna have a bag for you to carry. It'll be under your sign. It will have your name tag in it. It will have your schedule in it. And it will have just a little first aid kit, so some Kleenexes, some hand sanitizer, a couple Band-Aids just in case you need them. Should anything happen, like you do have a kiddo that trips and cuts their shin open or something, just let me know, just so we kind of have that documented, and we can keep record of it. It's not a big deal. We just want to make sure that we're aware, so if the parents ask us questions, we know what's going on there. And then also in your bag will be the Bible buddy. So we're not going to hand the Bible buddies out until the closing session, but they're going to be in your bag each night. So if you have 5 crew members or 5 kids in your crew, you'll have 5 different colored little baggies in your bag, 5 little miniature ones in your backpack, let's say that. And then, so you'll know each kid has one based on the color. So, Joey has blue and Sam has purple or whatever it might be. We can't write their names on them just with the material that they're made of. Last year we wrote their names on them. So trying to make this more simple. So you'll have them in your bag, you'll bring them out, and then each night I'll put the new one in there and you'll bring them out at closing. Okay? Any questions about that? And Travis will kind of cue you when to get those out and introduce them. Okay, I think that's everything that's going to be in your crew bag. Okay. So here's some expectations. These apply to everybody that's going to be here. Some are a little bit more pointed towards crew leaders, but it applies to everybody. So I'm just going to read through them. We ask that everybody be welcoming and warm to children and parents. We want everybody to see smiling faces. We don't want any child to feel intimidated. We want their parents to feel that their kid is well cared for and loved, and they're leaving them in a safe space. And it's our way to show Jesus' love to their parents as they come and bring them and drop them off and come pick them up. We want it to be a smooth running ship and just happy smiles and warm welcomes everywhere. So if you see somebody, say hi to them. If they're not wearing a name tag and they're not a kid, then they're a guest, so say hi. We want to maintain a positive attitude and high energy. Those kids look up to everybody that's around them. So if you are engaged and you're having fun and you're being kind and, just engaged in everything, they're going to follow right in your footsteps. But if you come up with a bad attitude or you respond negatively to someone, that just starts a little wildfire and it's going to catch. We don't want any of that. So keep a positive attitude. And I know it's hard because we all work jobs, or we're babysitting our siblings or whatever it is throughout the day. You're busy, you're tired, I get it. But just kind of got to pray through it and put on that happy face when you get here. And if you struggle or you need prayer, guess what? We have a prayer request station downstairs, the bottom of the stairs. I'm going to have that set up in the same place. And I'm going to be delivering those to our prayer team up in the library throughout the night. So it can be for you personally, it can be for somebody in your personal life, or it can be here VBS related. If you have a prayer request for a crew member, or maybe it's somebody that's working games, you see they're having a hard day that day or whatever, you want to send up a prayer request for them. Please feel free to use that. For the crew leaders, and mostly this is for the crew leaders and the preschool, count your kiddos. Make sure we don't have one go rogue on us. We just want to make sure that everybody's accounted for and there's no unneeded excitement in that way. Be helpful and respectful and responsible. So if you see someone that's struggling, step in and take charge, help them. Ask them if they need help. Don't wait for them to ask you. Be helpful and always be responsible. Like I said, those kids are always watching. So if you see something that isn't right, say something. Tell a station leader, tell an adult, tell me, tell Pastor Travis, tell Pastor Dan. We want to make sure that it's everything's running smoothly and we're acting the way that we should and showing our church's love through Christ to everybody in the right way. We want to make sure we're showing that. We want to stay engaged with the kiddos at all times. So I know it's really easy when crew leaders, young kids, you haven't seen each other all summer and you get together and you're just like hanging out and whatever, and the kids kind of get lost on the sidelines. So don't do that. Save that for our 8 o'clock huddle, and we're going to have snacks upstairs afterwards, so you guys can come up and grab some snacks and a Gatorade and stuff like that. Save those chit-chatting talks for then. Be engaged with your kiddos at all time, and if you see one that's just kind of lost or whatever, and they're not in your crew, it's okay. Go talk to them. Make sure they're having a good time. Encourage fellowship and Christ-centered conversations. We're going to have extra time. That's something I didn't mention. With our extended time at the meals, we're going to have 30 minutes in there. We realize that not every kid's going to take 30 minutes to eat. I don't know about my kids eating about 10 minutes and then they're out. So you too. But we want you to stay at your station at the table until you're dismissed to go. So I had bought little games to put on the tables, like little handheld little water shooting games and little Jenga tables and cards and coloring books and those sorts of things. But it's also an awesome opportunity for you to have a conversation with the kids, get to know them. What do they do during the summer? What, does their family go on vacation? What grade are they going to be in? What school subjects do you like? But in these conversations, we want to keep everything Christ-centered. So if it's a conversation that's negative or, it's bordering on sinful, let's just shut it down. Say, that's not really what we want to be talking about here at VBS. So change the subject quickly. Okay, I know some situations the kids need to vent, and that's fine, but you'll know. You'll use your best judgment. You'll know. Be mindful of time. This is what I said about stay at your table or stay at your station until you're dismissed. In the past, we've had some crews dismissing early because they were done with whatever they were doing, and then they're roaming the halls and it gets a little crazy and then the kids get rowdy. So even if it might seem like it's getting a little bit boring with your crew at a station and you're done, stay engaged and stay there until your crew or your station leader dismisses you to go to the next station. Also with that in mind, we want to keep everything moving so you're not super late. So if you're getting to the end of food time and they're not done eating, tell them to hurry it up. For everybody, no phones. We want to silence them for sure. It's okay if you carry them in case you have an emergency, but I ask that nobody be on their phone checking snaps or sending texts or anything like that during the hours that we have the kids here. If you step away and you have a break or something, or you need to send something, that's okay. Just be super mindful and respectful. We don't want to set a bad example that, you're sitting on your phone while the kids are playing a game or something like that. So just real minimal use your best judgment there as well. Crew leaders, if you need to step away for whatever reason, make sure that your crew members are supervised by another crew leader or station leader or another VBS volunteer. So don't just say, stay here until I get back, because that can lead to havoc. Just make sure that we're being responsible and making sure that they're always have an eye on them. Demonstrate the fruits of the Spirit to everybody, to each other, to the kids, to the teachers, to the volunteers, to the cooks, to the cleaners. Show love, joy, goodness, kindness, faithfulness, patience, gentleness, and self-control. We want to reinforce the Bible point each day. So anytime you have the opportunity of, and people don't get along, shine Jesus' light. Thank you. Thank you, Commander Spelt. Be flexible and use your best judgment to support each other. I kind of mentioned that. If you need help, ask for it. We don't want anybody to have a bad experience. If you are having a kid in your group that's overwhelming you and you can't handle it, that's okay. We're all kids. I'm still a kid. I don't know how to handle all kids in all situations, and I don't expect you guys to either. So if you do have problems and you need help, you just got to say something. Again, tell an adult, tell a station leader, tell me, Pastor Dan, or Pastor Travis. And we want you to have a good experience, and we want the kids to have a good experience too. Remind others of our mission, Shine Jesus Light. We'll be saying that all the time. And then make the prayer request to our prayer team. I mentioned that earlier. More critical information. So we do have some kids that are going to have medical, I don't call them conditions, but just medical situations we need to be aware of. If a member of your crew has one of those, you'll have a yellow sheet in your bag. So when you get there that night, look for on your first night, if you have a yellow sheet in your bag, that means you just have something you need to be aware of. Most of these situations are just, you know, so-and-so bumped their head and they had a concussion 2 weeks ago, we need to watch them. So if that kiddo bumps their head on the sidewalk during a game or something, then you should probably tell somebody. But most of them are nothing you need to be afraid of, we just need to be aware of. And that also includes food allergies. All of the food allergies will be communicated to Alma and her team ahead of time, so they'll know. So it's not your responsibility to make sure that they should eat that or shouldn't eat the other thing, but we want you to be aware of it in case they try to question you. But we'll have all of those things addressed ahead of time. I mentioned if you have a medical issue, let me know. And then, again, I mentioned this earlier, if you have an unruly crew member, ask your other leaders as you're going through, ask them for help. You know, if you're like, can you just watch these two while I address this, that would be super helpful. Don't be afraid to do that, and because we want you to work as a team as you go through your stations. And then if whatever you're doing is not working, report it to us. Bathrooms are located, there's 2 back here, 2 down in the foyer, and then there's some in the Quonset as well. Just guidelines for the bathroom: don't go into the bathroom with one of your kiddos. Just stand outside, leave the door open, let them take care of what they need to do, make sure they wash their hands, and then come back to them. But don't send them on their own, and don't go in and close the door with them. That's just common school stuff. We want to just have, again, a safe space for everybody. And again, if you need to take a kid to the restroom, make sure somebody else has eyes on your crew. Okay? Any questions about any of this stuff? I know it's a lot, and it's hot in here. Sorry. Good?
Preschool, good morning. Preschool, we follow schedule, but not your schedule. So if you see us leave early from the cafeteria, it's because we have to go. We don't follow your,
Yep, that's right.
Or
your
the
time thing.
opening to.
If we just leave it, just so you know, I have 3 and 4-year-olds. I need to come down. We gotta go right. So just so you all understand, it's just we follow schedules, but it's just not.
Yep, they run their own orbit.
They're the rebels.
Alma, do you have a question?
I don't know how long is the application for bring the kids, but is there any space where say don't bring cell phones or any value things to might get lost? Because some kids, most of the kids really young, 5,
Yeah.
7 years old, they have cell phones, and if they bring it, I don't know, get
Well, that's-
lost or somebody took it by accident or.
Let's do this, because it's too late to add that to the registration form, and I already sent out the pre-event email to the parents. But what if you crew members, if you have a kid that has a phone, ask them for it at the beginning of the night, put it in your backpack,
Yeah.
give it back to them at the end of the night. That way they're not worrying about it getting wet during a water gun fight at games or something like that, and that's a great call out.
And then maybe-
Lost or make distractions for themselves or other kids.
Yep.
While trying to learn something more important.
Absolutely. It's a great call out.
And then ask them if they can not bring it the
Yes,
rest of the
they,
week.
Leave it in mom and dad's car when they drop off.
yeah.
And if it gets to the point where you don't want to carry it, then bring it up to the registration table and we'll keep an eye on it up there too.
Yeah, and also, if somebody ensures to take a pictures, I remember last year Melody helped us with that,
Yes.
but I don't know, I didn't read nothing. about it.
Yes, so Melody wasn't
good.
on, thank you, I missed that. Melody was one of my first volunteers, she always
Yeah,
takes the
was doing a
pictures,
good
yep.
job, I love it.
Yes, so then we use those pictures that she takes for our celebration Sunday when we go through the presentation. So yes, Melody is taking photos again.
Awesome.
Yes. Okay, any other questions? Just have a couple more things, I think. Crew leader expectations, I'm gonna run through this super fast. A lot of this is repeat what was on the other slide. There's a couple of other things. Again, that first night, we'd like you to be here at 5:15 for our pre-launch meeting. Again, we just wanna make sure everybody's on the same page, say a prayer, get you in your places so everybody's ready to go. All other nights, 5:30 is totally great. Greet your crew members as they arrive, learn their names as quickly as you can, get to know them, ask questions, all those things I had said earlier about conversation starters. Set expectations for your kiddos. Let them know that we're here to have fun, but we're also going to do so in a safe, fun, undistracting way. We don't want to cause problems. We're not going to tolerate, bad behavior, those sorts of things. So just set expectations so they know from the get-go. Stay with your crew at all times. If you need to go, make sure they're watched by somebody else. Mealtime is 30 minutes. This is what I talked about. Not all kiddos are going to take that long, so there's those games. So maybe don't sit at the same table every night, because we'll have different the games on the table, so you want to try to get them to do something different. Maybe we won't need them. I don't know. Maybe just having conversations will be great. We'll see how it goes. But this is going to be a new rotation, so we're all going to learn what didn't work next year, and we can make adjustments. Don't leave your station before your dismissal time. Ensure your crew is engaged all the time and not causing distractions. That includes you too. So if, as a leader, if Jody's telling a story and she's acting it out, eyes on her at all times. Like, don't be talking to each other, don't be looking at your watch. If you're engaged, the kids are going to be engaged, and you can't expect them to do it if you can't do it yourself. So just set the example for them, and it's going to be so much easier.
With that, eyes on the leader, but out of your peripherals and with your ears, know what your kids are doing. So if they're out of hand, you can pull them back in. So don't engage so deeply that you lose your crew.
Yeah, good call. Travis was a crew leader for a lot of years, so he knows. For sure.
Crew leader's the best.
Count your kiddos. I said that. Pray for and with your crew often. If you have the opportunity to pray before your meal, do it. Pray for the night before you kick off, whatever it might be. Even if it's one-on-one, it doesn't have to be the whole crew. If you have the opportunity to pray with them, take it. Remind your crew to shine Jesus' light and just love your kiddos and have fun. That's why we're all here. All those things. Shine Jesus' light and have fun. Those are the two things I want you to take away today. What to wear? It's probably going to be hot, so wear something that's comfortable. You're going to be moving around a lot, so I don't know, tennis shoes, comfortable shoes, whatever you want. There's no dress code. These shirts are available downstairs. We sell them at cost. These are the crew shirts. They aren't glitter that flakes off. It's imprinted on the shirt. So I keep thinking I have like powdered donut dust out of the corner of my eye, but I think they're super fun. So if you want to wear that, that's great. If you have something else that's space themed you want to wear it, that's fine too. Just make sure that if you do wear some sort of graphic t-shirt or something, it's appropriate for church. No crop tops, no short shorts, just common sense stuff like that. Just use your best judgment. And then everybody I mentioned will have a name tag, and then we'll do the bandanas again this year. We have a lot of crew members, so we might not all have the same color, so that's okay. But I thought it was super fun. The last few years we've done that. Some guys tie them on their arms, some girls wear them in their hair, tie them around on your belt loop, whatever you want to do. But it's another good, easy way for the kids to identify who's a teacher, who's a leader, and who's not a kid. So yeah. And you're going to be getting up and down a lot, especially you crew leaders, so make sure your pants and shorts are comfortable for getting up and down off the floor. Okay, so this is something that's new. It's not binding, it's not a contract, but I want to read through it with you all and then have you read it back with me. This is what I just want everybody to aspire to next week. So I'll read through it first. I promise to be on time and have a welcoming demeanor and fulfill my role at VBS to the best of my ability and in a responsible and loving manner. I promise to be an encouraging and helpful member of the VBS team. If I see something that looks dangerous or upsetting, I will make the pastors or Marcy aware. I promise to shine Jesus' light and show his love to all who pass through the doors of Crete Berean Church during Stellar VBS. Everybody on board? Okay, raise your right hand. I'm thinking, raise your right hand. Okay, but everybody read it back with me, okay? All right, I promise to be on time, have a welcoming demeanor, and to fulfill my role at VBS to the best of my ability, and in a responsible and loving manner. I promise to be an encouraging and helpful member of the VBS team. If I see something that looks dangerous or upsetting, I will make the pastors or Marcy aware. I promise to shine Jesus' light and show his love to all who pass through the doors of Crete Berean Church and Stellar VBS. Awesome. Couple more things. If any of you have the opportunity for youth service hours, I'm happy to sign any paperwork that you, at the end of next week or next Sunday during our celebration time, I'm happy to, or after our celebration time, I'm happy to sign any youth service hours for you. And then I forgot to fix this, but thank you. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for saying yes to VBS. You're so appreciated. I said that God chose each and every one of you to be here for this VBS, for the kids that we're going to have in your crew next week. So it's very purposeful, it's very meaningful that you're here, so thank you. Thanks for loving your crew, thanks for building relationships, thanks for encouraging each other, and thanks for spreading God's love. That's why we're here. All right, any questions for me? That was easy. Thanks for being good listeners. I know it's warm in here.
There will be a couple times throughout the week where I'll have it planned probably the night before during our crew meeting, where I'll need some specific help from you crew leaders during an opening or a closing. So we'll get that organized as the week goes on.
Awesome.
Very simple stuff, but
And there might be some nights like we have glow sticks one night. Those will be in your crew bag, but we can talk about those during our huddles. Yeah. Got lots of fun stuff planned.
One night will be with lasers, and so that is for your hands only.
Yes. Very good. All right, well, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to text me, call me, email me, whatever. I've got a lot to do in the next 4 days, but we're going to get it done, and it's going to be an amazing week. Pray for great weather. Pray that God will continue to enroll and bring the kids He wants here next week, because He always does. And just that all the little details would fall into place. Oh, last thing. Sorry, this is like the Debbie Downer of the night. I forgot. So the church has requested anybody that's over the age of 18 fill out a new paperwork for a background check to update our records. So if you're over the age of 18, please take this and fill it out. You can get it back to me either tonight, I'll be here for a little bit, or if you want to bring it to church on Sunday, but they do request that they have them in time to run the background checks before VBS starts Monday night. So if you want to bring this with you on Monday, but in the meantime, snap a photo of it on your phone and send it in to me or Danielle at the office, that's totally fine. Just make sure you bring that hard copy back. There's like a sheet in the back that you can keep for your records, but this is just to update. Everybody has to do it, including Travis and myself. So if you're 18, raise your hand and I'll pass them around to you. Did you? 18? Oh, I'm sorry, honey. Just pretend.
Okay, didn't I just do this for a while?
I was gonna say, how long ago did you do it?
I just did it for a while.
This year?
'Cause
She said
it's-
anybody that was prior to
so-
this year needed to do it.
If you think you've done it in the last few years,
I gave you more.
maybe message Danielle and I'll talk to me and I'll look through the list to see when it went through, and then if you're still up to date, then you don't have to.
I remember we just did this for a while.
If you just did it in the last 3 to 5 years, you're considered up to date.
Yeah, check with her because she just had 2 names for me that she said were current. Well, I didn't think it'd been that long since I'd done mine, and mine was like 2014. I was like, oh, that's old.
Also on the day 1, we're gonna be using highlighters on the
Okay.
kids' hands and put a cross and have a black light for them to see the light.
Cool.
So,
That's super fun.
That's good. I saw that that was a closing option, and I was like, oh, that would be so fun, but the supplies and time to fit that in, so I'm glad you guys are doing it.
yeah. It's gonna be easy to fit it on day 1 because the day 1 craft is super easy.
Yeah, good. That'll be super fun. All right, well, please reach out if you have any questions. That's all I have. Thank you so much for being here.
And a reminder, something that I mentioned on Sunday in the meeting, is these background checks are not invasive. It's not going to show